you've just nailed really, I think what makes a good lawyer versus a great lawyer. And so our goal is to be great lawyers is to
Yes. Uh, David, I want to ask you this question. Uh, as a legal advisor, when you meet with executives, you have, because of your functional experience and background, you have the legal perspective, right, on any project or any initiative that the company takes. And so you have the legal perspective and then you have the executive perspective. And sometimes I bet you have seen where executives are doing stuff that can cause headaches later. How do you go about advising an executive and holding their hands and saying, look, this is something that you want to be careful on, but the executive is very focused on their strategic perspective, right, or the strategic imperatives? Where do you see the holes and how do you manage that? Where is the legal advice the most valuable for a company in these mega projects?
sure. So that is something that happens often, right? We're hired as outside counsel. We're hired to come in and to provide our expertise based on the other similar projects we've worked on. We've
Yes.
been hired to help give perspective to a particular management team and their employees as far as what to think about for this project. And so we do raise issues. We look for potential risks. We particularly are thinking about the ultimate financing plan for the project.
Okay.
And so if it's going to be project financed, we are thinking about what, in our experience, is acceptable to banks and
Yes.
what may be pushing the envelope a bit. And so we're sharing that type of information with our clients. And in the end, though, we recognize that it's our client's job to make the decision, right?
Yes.
It's their decision to weigh the risks and to make the call. So we leave that in their hands, but we want to make sure they are as informed as possible on what those risks are and what could go wrong and also what the potential upside might be.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where the client wants a project executed and developed, but you can see that this project is not going to be the success that the client is dreaming of, right? So how do you walk the client back from a project that they have fallen in love with and say, look, sometimes it's okay to let go.
Sure. Well, that's a fine line to walk sometimes, but we again, in the end, it's the client's decision whether it's a company's decision, and for good reason, right? It's their
Yes.
decision whether to
Yes.
move forward. And but we aim to have frank conversations with our clients so that they understand what we see and where we see maybe some blind spots in the
Yes.
project. But on the other hand, if our client, as they say, lawyers are risk adverse. So
Yes.
if it's part of the give and take of a development of a project is a marketing commercial team that's has great ideas and is really pushing forward.
Yes.
But at the same time, the legal team is making sure that it works.
Yes.
Uh, and really, and frankly, our goal as a legal team is to not just to show where there's concerns, but to propose solutions, right?
Yes.
And to figure out how we get past this roadblock so we can get the deal done.
Yes. And so let's flip the question. You bring up a great point is that lawyers or people in the legal profession, by training, by experience, by, uh, dare I say, by personality, have to be risk averse, right? They have to be. It's like bankers, you have to have. Um, so, how do you make sure that you, as lawyers, don't fall in your own trap of becoming so risk averse where you go into a conversation with clients and you're not able to get on the same page? The client has certain ideas and you're struggling and you actually become the slowest wheel in the cart, right?
Mhm.
So how do you all go back and reinvent yourself as times change? Because times are changing fast, right? And in every project the considerations are changing fast. And so how do you go back and say, okay, let me get out of my own mind's bubble?
Sure, sure. Well, and frankly, what you've just nailed really, I think what makes a good lawyer versus a great lawyer. And so our goal is to be great lawyers is to be able to put on enough of a business hat that we can that we can understand where our client's coming from.
Yes.
We can understand their perspective, that we propose solutions that are not just legally correct, but that are solutions that can be understood, digested, and can be and work, frankly, can actually like work with our clients' business goals. And so one thing I love about being part of the project development team here at Baker Botts is that because of we've been blessed with great clients, with great projects. And so we really understand what it takes to finish a project. And so we know when there's a certain time to push and to really make sure the client understands the risk, but there's also a time to let go and let them run with it. And that's really, there's a judgment call there. And so our goal is to identify the risks, but to know when to stop raising the red flag.
Yes, that's a judgment call, and it's an experience call.
Right.
Which leads me to this question.